All right, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Lions Talk Live, Friday edition. You know, we're about a week and a half away, whatever it is. We're getting real dang close to training camp, and you're starting to see more and more Detroit Lions players asked to sit down for interviews, asked to sit down for national media, give their thoughts, hear what they have to say about last year's rise of the Detroit Lions, the removal potentially of the curse of Bobby Lane, and 50 other things. You see Amon-Ra St. Brown giving more interviews because of the start of the Netflix series Receiver. And that's going to be the main topic today. He sat down with a bunch of former NFL players and gave some commentary on last year, the rise of the team, playing through the oblique injury, playing through some challenging situations, like the situation in Dallas towards the end of the game. And he gives some buoyant comments about, how things changed over the course of his rookie year, second year, and more importantly, last year. We're going to have a little bit of video from Eric Mangini, the former NFL head coach, who also is now a Fox analyst. He's going to give some thoughts about the Detroit Lions and what he thinks they could become in this upcoming season. You got a lot of different topics that are coming into play as the season approaches, and we all get it. Detroit Lions are one of the most talked about teams. Let that sink in if you're a longtime fan. One of the most talked about teams in a positive way across the entire NFL. This team really has the potential to be one of the greatest in the league and potentially for a decade. Maybe more. We'll see as things continue to progress. But a couple real quick things before we get into 5 headlines now and all that kind of normal stuff. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are less than 40 subs away from hitting 6,900. And obviously, it puts us less than 140 subs away from hitting 7,000 subscribers, something I never thought would happen. But here we are, butting up on it. Also, if you're watching the video, if you're taking the time to watch it, if you could just make a moment out of your day, half a second, it's free of charge, hit that thumbs up button. You know, it helps the channel out a lot. It helps get it out to more and more people who haven't yet discovered Lions Talk Live. So if you would be so kind, go ahead and do that. Last but never least, if you're new to the show, this is new to you. But if not, then it's no stranger to you. Outside of being a YouTuber, a coach, etc., I am a realtor. If you're looking for someone to work for you, save you some money, make the process a whole lot easier, whether you're looking for a commercial property, vacant land, developmental property, whatever it may be, a new house, secondary house, give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. Let me use over 30 years in the industry to make the process easier. And like I said, save you some money. All right, let's go ahead and get into our 5 headlines now and talk about all those things before we get into the main topic of the day. So without further ado, let's get into 5 headlines now. I do like that, a little bit of music there. All right, 5 headlines now. Starting off, we've got the Lions preview. Reynolds, Vaki, Detroit's depth at running back. This is from All Lions, a story by Josh, I'm going to kill his last name, Soduska. So I apologies for that, Josh. But he does a pretty good job of breaking down the running back position. And you're seeing all sorts of different outlets. I don't care if it's USA Today, Detroit News, Free Press, All Lions, or whoever it may be. It's that time of year. We're less than 2 weeks away from from training camp opening up. So everybody's starting to do their expectations for the different groups. They're doing their, revised 53-man rosters. Some of them are even putting out practice squad guys, reserves lists, etc. So go ahead and check it out. You're looking for some things to bridge the gap between today and the start of training camp. It's good reads for you. All right, Detroit Lions, Lions 2024 NFL playoff odds. Detroit, a heavy favored to return to the postseason. And that's by Sports Illustrated story by Ian McCallan. So, again, you're seeing a lot more and more chatter, and probably the topic of tomorrow's show. I almost made it today, but when I got the video for St. Brown's conversation about how he was really going to go after and try to kill some of these DBs that are messing with him, I was like, all right, I'll run with that today. And then tomorrow, you do have a lot of groups out there that came out in the last, 48 hours that did a chart on the NFL. Who are the projected teams to win the Super Bowl this year and then they went over the next decade. Surprisingly enough, Detroit was number 2 on that list. And again, that will be tomorrow's show, so I won't get into it too much. But hey, you're looking for something to read today before tomorrow's show. I know you already know the topic of tomorrow's show, but go ahead and do a deep dive on that one. All right, Detroit Lions star gets honest about all the hype for 2024, and that's from Gridiron Heroics, story by Evan Masley. So check it out. You've got a number of people, like I said at the start of the show, that are wanting to interview Detroit Lions players that want to have one of the hottest teams in the league, the biggest stories out of last year that nearly made it to the Super Bowl. You've got Alex Anzalone giving interviews, St. Brown, Goff, Hutchinson, James Houston has given a few as of late. You've got Terrion Arnold who's being asked for press conference moments where he can get in front of the mic, and that's going to continue to be the hype train throughout the preseason as we get ready for the NFL kickoff against the Rams. Expect a whole lot of Detroit Lions players to get some headlines here. All right, I thought this was a neat one just because being someone who's a little bit older, who's seen a lot of different Detroit Lions, either coaches or players, I thought this was a great one. Ranking the 10 greatest Detroit Lions of all time. That's from Clutch Points, story by Nick Meyer. I'll give Nick a little bit of stuff here. I haven't ever met him personally when I've been a reporter or anything, so I don't know him. But I have noticed in recent months he's put out a lot of good work. So, Nick, if you happen to be watching the show, kudos to you, my friend. I think you do a pretty good job being a sports journalist reporter. So go out and check it out. If you want Nick's thoughts on who are the 10 greatest Detroit Lions of all time, I think it's a good read for you. All right, and then speaking of Alex Anzalone talks Lions Super Bowl hopes. Jack Campbell and his love of Detroit, Fanside, and Justin Fried. So, again, another good story. You want somebody who's going to give you some inside perspective on the team, how the positions are changing, how things have changed from year one under MCDC to now. And think about that. Coming in, just winning a couple games, even having the moments where you were, 10-1 before you got the 0-10-1 before you got your first win. So, yeah, let that all sink into where you are now. So, all right, those are your 5 headlines. Now let's go on over and get into a little bit of a video segment before we go over to the main topics of the day. So let's get into our video segment with Eric Mangini. All right, so Eric Mangini, like you said, former NFL coach, had some notes, some success to a certain degree before he got out of coaching and got into the press box, started calling games, being an analyst for Fox Sports. And again, talking about all the hype building up this season, talking about everything, all the expectations for this franchise. I get the main topic because everybody's here wanting to see the video on St. Brown talking about, hey, he wants to kill him. We'll get to that right after this one. It'll be the main topic of the day. But before we do want to give a little bit of time to Eric Mangini's thoughts because I do think, hey, everybody expects the 49ers. I shouldn't say everybody, but there are high expectations for the 49ers to still be the king of the NFC. But you know what? I know I've mentioned it. A lot of you guys in the comment section have also mentioned it. Not so sure that's the case anymore. I think there's a strong argument to be said that the 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys are on the way down. Philadelphia's got a massive roster. We all get that. But whatever happened the last month and a half over in Philadelphia last year, plus the playoffs, yeah, they just really flamed out. They've got some new coordinators, new staff, a few new players they're going to have to work in. Can they regain their form? If they don't find their footing and find their way, does that mean the Detroit Lions are indeed the number 1 team in the NFC? Let's see what Mangini has to say.
So then last question then, same line of question for the NFC. People would say it's the Niners. Who's the biggest challenger in your mind?
Well, my question mark with Detroit was how were they going to deal with success? And they had the success 2 seasons ago, and which was surprising. And it's a big learning curve. The teams have to learn how to deal with expectations. Teams have to learn how to deal with all the things that come along with winning. And then Detroit goes out last year and they win the division for the first time in 30 years. They win a playoff game for the first time in 32 years. They have continuity now with coordinators. There's an authenticity with the head coach that of toughness and hard work and grit. All those things that the players have not only bought into, they've embraced, and they've made it their identity. They draft well, and since he's been there. So I like Detroit. They've addressed problems in the secondary. I think Detroit could be the challenger. What, they were up on by 17, right, in the game last year before they lost to the 49ers.
Yeah, almost got it done, and certainly one of the best rosters,
Almost,
top to bottom.
and they're young. They're young. They're tough. And they've dealt with success. So,
Coach, thank you so much for the time. It was an honor and a pleasure, sir. Thank you.
All right, there you go. Like I said, Eric Mangini talking about the Detroit Lions. And what do you think? Do you agree with him? Do you think he can be correct in that Detroit is perhaps the number one team in the NFC, and then obviously a real good chance at making the Super Bowl? I think that'll be the biggest debate going into the regular season and then throughout the season. Detroit goes 8-0 to start the year, as I'm predicting. Then, yeah, people are going to be throwing them out there as not only an option for the number one seed, not only just an option to win the NFC North, but you know what? A chance to really go out there and challenge for the Super Bowl this upcoming year. So, all right, with all that being said, now it's time to get over to the main topic of the day. Main topic of the day is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Hey, he's going to go out and kill him. He's going to go and try and put it on different cornerbacks. He's going to talk specifically about Jordan Lewis here. That is a Dallas Cowboy defensive back who, you know what, maybe tote the line a little bit. And I wasn't able to get the full clip from the interview. I was hoping to try to acquire that. It would have been about 3 to 4 minutes long. Instead, we've got, I don't know, about 45 seconds of the clip. Maybe it's 30-some seconds, but whatever it is, it's a short clip where he's talking about, just the different stuff he kept getting from different defensive backs throughout the season, especially as they got closer and closer to the playoffs. The rise of the value of all the games we were playing, people trying to get in his ear, trying to get in his head. Anybody who's played sports probably gets that's a part of the game. But you know what? To see the effect this particular moment had on St. Brown, I thought was noteworthy. So why not on a Friday, trying to get you guys all ready for the weekend, talk about a little something like this. So, hey, let's go ahead and get over to the main topic of the day. All right, queuing up the piece here, and I'll be back right after it. So it's like a 30-some second piece, so it won't be incredibly long.
Jordan Lewis, I think, is his name, from the Cowboys. Yeah. I don't talk much unless someone's going to talk to me. I block hard. I do all that. But he was talking crazy, like some shit I've never heard before. I'm like, yo, hold on. Like, I'm going to have to go hard on this. Like, he was talking crazy out of pocket. Even J-Mo heard it too. He was coming in. At that point, it's like, I don't know what he's saying. I'm trying to make plays, win the game. I'm not worried about him. But once he starts talking like that, it's if I do get a chance to kill him, I'm gonna kill him.
Sorry, I had to clear my throat there right as the video ends. But hey, I think it's probably something as Lions fans we're gonna have to get used to, is that now that you're not the person chasing other teams, you are the team being chased by everybody, the one being hunted. You're no longer the hunter, whatever you want to, analogy you want to use. I think St. Brown, the good thing is him, his teammates, you hear it in this video. You know what's coming all this year. People are going to come after you. People want to beat the man because you know what? The old Ric Flair adage, you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. And now the Detroit Lions, let it sink in. Hey, everybody thinks you're the man. Everybody wants a piece of that shine that you get from all the national media attention, all the hope, all the hoopla, all the praise, the accolades, all of the above. They want the endorsement deals that you're now getting, where it's Jared Goff promoting insurance or whatever it is. So that's the fate of the Detroit Lions. And the more they keep winning this upcoming year, the more it's going to happen. I got to imagine everybody who gets a hit on Jared Goff is going to try to talk bad about his mama, about his daddy, whoever else. And you know what? Hey, if you're really an athlete, if you're really somebody who is constructed to win a Super Bowl, stuff like this is not going to bother you. And I love the fact that when you listen to St. Brown talk, when you watch his body language, this is not somebody who was affected by that at all. I don't think he is going to be affected by it. In fact, I think it's a motivational factor for someone like St. Brown. It's going to help him rise, take his game to another level. But enough about me, enough about the videos, enough about the 5 headlines. Let's see what the Duke crew has to say about all this and get on over to you guys. Hopefully everybody is having a great morning. JDC, woo, the first woo of the show. And man, that did not take long at all. So just for you, JDC. All right, and back to the comment section we go. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. Can you feel it? Question mark. I can hear it coming. The rhythm and blues offense. I see Super Bowl. Woo! And good morning to you too, Bo. Hopefully you're listening to some good music this morning. Let's see. Hatman, good Friday morning, everyone. Woo! Finally get a good night's sleep for the first time in a month. Well, I'm glad to hear that, man. Hopefully it's the first of many good night's sleep. Clark, good morning, Duke Crew. It's Friday, and I'm asking myself, how can I get fired on my day off? Laughing out loud. Hey, well, hopefully you can't get fired on a day off, but hopefully you have a good one. All right, Miles Margaret, good morning. R&B offense, I like that. I like that that best. All right, Bo Booth says mile marker. Frank the Tank, good morning, Duke Crew. Woo! The woos are flying today. I like it. Big Eddie, greetings and salutations. Good morning, Crew gang. I hope St. Brown works over every corner in the league. You know, they are all coming for him and us. Yes, I would agree. The more you keep winning, the more this offense keeps producing. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of people try to, talk trash, whatever they can to get themselves pumped up, but also try to get in your head and get a psychological psychological advantage. So, hey, see it coming before it happens. All right, see, Frank, think we all know St. Brown is tough as heck. We all know Frank Ragnow is tough as heck. Let me tell you, there's a lot more players on the team that are tough as heck. Kirby Joseph is tough as heck. Woo! And yeah, I agree. So we've often talked about on the show for, I guess, 2 seasons now. One of the things I really like the fact that the Detroit Lions do is they draft personalities, the right type of personalities to build around, Lions type personalities. So in order to be somebody the Detroit Lions and their scouting department, coaching staff are going to target, you can't be. There are certain personality traits. There are 4 major personality traits that we use here in the United States. 2 of them, for the most part, the Detroit Lions do not draft in any way, shape, or form. They do want to target alpha, or what's also known as a driver personality, and then analytical. The reason why for that is just how those 2 personality traits mesh together. Now, it doesn't mean you can't be, an expressive alpha or an analytical, alpha, or analytical expressive or whatever, but or an amicable personality too. Amicable personalities, hey, just want everybody to get along, don't want to upset anybody. But the reason why they target 2 of those personality traits is just because how that keeps those guys wired and keeps them moving forward. They are less likely to get distracted, less likely to lose focus. I could do probably a 3-hour show on that, but we won't do that today. So, Frank, to your point, I do agree with you. I think they've been very, very specific with who they bring in onto the team, and I think that shows on the product on the floor or on the field, because you know what? These guys are wired. They all want to win it. They're aggressive in nature in the fact that they get a goal, and they're going to do everything they can to go achieve that goal. All right, Mike the Marine Gunny, howdy, Dan and Lions faithful. Happy Friday. Woo! And good Friday to you too there, Gunny. Hopefully you have a great one. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Off the gym today and listening to the show this morning. The countdown is on, and you are correct. It's getting shorter with every day we wake up. So, hey, enjoy it. Enjoy summer while you got it, because you know what? We're about ready to get to football season here pretty quick. Frank the Dink, I love players that don't talk crap on the field. When I used to play ball, people that talk crap to me made me play even better every time. Yeah, some people, it's almost the worst thing you can do, right, Frank, is that you can try to hit their buttons because it takes their game to another level. Someone like St. Brown, David Montgomery, I'm guessing Laporta, Gibbs, and I'm just talking about offensive players here. You talk to them, you get into their head, you're going to light that fire that takes their focus, their abilities, their speed, their strength, all to another level. All right, Lance, greetings, salutations. St. B is a monster player for us, and I have zero doubts guys on the other teams do whatever they can to break his focus or distract him. Plus, he's the youngest of the kids. Oh, that's a very good point. So that's going for him. So if you don't know what Lance is referring to, St. Brown is the youngest of the brothers there. So there have been some studies that suggest the youngest, because they grow up getting basically beat on by their older siblings, just develops a different mindset than, say, the oldest or the middle child. And being the youngest of 9 kids myself, I can tell you there's probably some level of truth to that because you get picked on all the time. You get pushed around all the time. You do have to learn to develop in a different way. So I think you're probably pretty spot on with that, Lance. Hookadoo, good morning, Coach of the Do crew. Woo! I can't think of a phrase Brad Holmes must have on his official wall. Quote, build it, they will come. One pride. Yeah, we'll go with that. The build it and they will come. In the Field of Dreams quote. Just say Kate, good morning, Hookadoo, and the rest of the crew, 100%. So good morning to everybody. Hookadoo, just say Kate, good morning, dude. Go Lions. That's why we're all here, supporting the Lions, keeping it going forward. And you know what? We're one day closer. Hatman, so I think I have a good name for the backfield. No trespassing zone. All right, I'll go with that because I don't think anybody's getting in our backfield, or at least not very often. That offensive line, as we all know, it's rated number 1 in the NFL. And I think it's going to prove to be number 1. I'd say Frank the Tank. I have the Detroit Lions going 14-3, and they will not lose to San Francisco or Houston. 5-1 in our division. Go Lions. All right, yeah. If we pull off wins against Houston, San Francisco, and I'm going to expect we're going to get a win in Dallas too. By the way, that would be major for us because you figure with San Francisco and Dallas, those potentially are your biggest rivals for the NFC. You have us going 5-1 in the division, assuming at least one win against Green Bay. Obviously, Chicago. So you're going to get multiple wins against one of those teams. So that should put you towards the top of the NFC, unless I'm really misjudging some of the other teams in the league. So I like the way you're thinking, Frank. And yes, we do that. We will be the number 1 seed in the NFC entering the playoffs. I'd see Miles Marker, watch the St. Brown Bros newest podcast yesterday. Folks gave me a hard time for using the term choke to describe the NFC Championship game. Sun God used the exact same term in that podcast. Hey, it is what it is. I mean, you had a 17-point lead with the entire fourth quarter and half of the third quarter. I mean, you got to hold on to that lead. I mean, you say what you want. Hey, teams make a comeback. Miracles happen, all that kind of stuff. But if you're the team that lost, you probably pointing a lot of fingers in the mirror at yourself and saying, what could we have done differently? And unfortunately, probably not choke. All right, Frank, think after week 10 something, it would be talking about the Detroit Lions. I mean, you still have those haters. Does teams on a mission have awesome players? This team does have awesome players without question, and it's hard to find another team in the NFL with more talent than the Detroit Lions. So I agree with you on that, Frank. So yes, I agree. We get after week 10. We're still one of the best teams in the league. We're whatever our record's going to be at that point, hopefully 10-0. It's going to be hard to catch us. Bo, oh yeah, Frank, 14-3. We'll go with that. Little macho man for you. And just for you guys, just because it is Friday. And then you know what? Hey, we got to have a little fun on a Friday. And I do like these. Dang it. That's the wrong one. My bad. The Macho Man one and the Special Report one look too much alike. So apologies about that, guys. A little, Macho Man. All right, back to the comment sections. All right, Frank Tank, peanut butter and jelly doesn't get any better than go Montgomery and Gibbs. Yeah, that's an award-winning combination right there. Montgomery and Gibbs, peanut butter and jelly. Hatman, Miles Margaret, that was a great podcast. I love when the brothers go at it. Yes, and hey, I did hear that the oldest brother wanted to play for the Detroit Lions, and I get it. You get to play with your brother, make it easier on your folks, come watch games. But apparently the Detroit Lions did not want to sign him. It is what it is. Phil, holy smokes, guys. You expect Dan to read these paragraphs? Just keep questions short. Hey, got to do what I got to do, man. I'm working for everybody, right? I'm working for a living here. And good morning to you too, Phil, by the way. I know today is the big day. I'm looking forward to it. See, Frank the Tank, you know it, bro. Bo, there we go. Steve Rogers, good morning, everyone. I'm ready for a morning dew, Coach. You're not the only one. We got about, another 20 minutes or so before I get on out of here, head down to the gym, then get rewarded before work with a morning Mountain Dew. All right, Frank the Tank, the song God's Got to Look Up at People Like Frank Ragnow. Boys played with a busted throat, a split toe. They're both animals. There are Tough as hell. Yeah. Well, I think we get it. The Sun Gods, St. Brown, he's a tough dude. Frank Ragnow is a tough dude. I don't really know if there's anybody on the team that I would quantify as not a tough guy. The only kind of ones, or the only two that I could readily think of that are no longer here. And no disrespect for Jonah Jackson. I had a problem with him going out in the first playoff game against the Rams. But again, I'm not him. I don't know the extent of injury. Everybody responds to injuries differently. And then DeAndre Swift, when he was here against for us, that Cowboy game where I do believe that's when the coaching staff said, yeah, in the offseason, we got to move on from him. The fact that he didn't play that game, because the Lions had a little momentum going into that game. And let's be fair, they had their opportunities to win that game at Dallas. So maybe if Swift plays that game, maybe they're able to win it, but it is what it is. All right, Quentin Green, salutations, y'all. St. Brown showing that edge to him, getting after dudes for testing him. Sign of a warrior, if you ask me. Yeah, I'm with you, Quentin. I think there's without question, he is a warrior, and he is everything the Detroit Lions want in a player. What he does out there also matriculates down to the rest of his teammates. I don't care if you're talking offense, defense, or special teams. People watch him go out and play that tough, that hard with those injuries. Everything above, yeah, it makes you want to go a little bit harder. It makes you not want to back off if you get a bump, bruise, or any kind of some pain or whatever. You want to keep going forward. All right, see, Miles Margaret, Phil, don't worry. As soon as Broski shows up, the chat will drop down to insane comments. All right, we'll go with that. Yeah, I think Broski, I don't know when he'll be back, but hopefully he's listening and watching and, hey, just having a good day. Phil, laughing out loud. Hookadoo, glad to see what I see when he shows up. Mile marker, there we go. Glad to see what I see. All right, fair enough. Phil, not sure Broski will be back anytime soon. Maybe. We'll see. I mean, he said he was going to take like a month off or something like that, but hey, he'll pop back when he pops back. I think a number of you guys say you see him in other chats, so hopefully he's still out there. But who knows, man? Maybe he just wanted to take a vacation before the season. All right, see. Bo, chant 3 times in the mirror. There we go. Do that. Yeah, maybe maybe you can get the Ric Flair to pop out of the mirror. Let's see. Michael D. Great salutations, Coach and Duke Crew. Super Bowl or bust. One pride. Woo, woo. And good morning to you too, Michael. Shane, good morning, fam. Back at you, Shane. Hopefully you have an outstanding day, my friend. See, Patrick, good morning, all, and Coach Dan. Or should I say Lieutenant Dan? There we go. Laughing out loud, I have my coffee, and I'm ready to rock. Well, I'm glad you're ready to rock and ready to roll. Weston Lion, good morning, crew. And we got the woos flying today, man. But lately, like the last week or two, I was like, people kind of backed off the woo. Today, hey, obviously, they are back at it. Let's see, Detroit D, green salutations to everyone. Back at you, D. Hopefully you are ready for a great weekend and the season. See, Motown Mitch, green salutations, Coach and Duke Crew. Same to you. Motown, Lions rule, Bears drew. 100% agree with that. Shane, smash that like button, fam. That like, fam, it's free. It is free of charge. Hey, just drop an elbow on it. Don't break your phone or TV, though. Or computer. See, Dominic, good morning from Texas. Dominic, hopefully you're doing okay. I know Texas got hit pretty hard, so hopefully all's well with you and your family and anybody you know down there. All right, Shane. Hey, Dom, we hit a little bit, but we're okay. Oh, yeah, I'm glad to hear you're okay too, Shane. So hopefully, yeah, nothing big there. Hopefully you guys are all doing okay, or anybody in Texas, I should say. All right, Rocky, good morning. All surprised he doesn't get suspended for saying that in this world. Yeah, but it's. I think when you watch the segment, and I get, hey, part of running a channel or a newspaper or magazine, you got to put out headlines. And I know some people jump on me about it, but here's one of the greatest things I heard from Felix Reset, one of the first owners / editors I ever really had the pleasure to work for. And this is somebody who'd been in the industry since the 1930s. And he was very honest to me earlier. He was like, you got to write headlines because headlines that pop. Because at the end of the day, this is a business. You have to sell newspapers. And people, when they're walking by the newsstand, have to read that headline and say, I need to find out what they're talking about. So I know the term clickbait gets thrown out a lot and other stuff, but it's been the same as it's been explained to me in the 1800s, the 1900s, the 2000s. No matter what media platform you're on, you've got to get somebody's attention or they're walking on by. So, so going back to the thumbnail, hey, you gotta. If I get a chance to kill him, I'm going to kill him. It pops out. I get it. But also, if you watch the video, you get he's not actually talking about trying to kill anybody. He's trying to kill him on the field, but not physically or whatever. It is a metaphor. I hope people get that, man. All right, Big Daz. Good morning, Dan, Coach Dan, and the Duke crew. Back at you, Daz. Hopefully you're having a great one. Silver Surfer. Good morning, Coach, and everyone else. Same to you, Surfer. How you doing? Who was killing who? Surfer asks. St. Brown was killing Jordan Lewis, defensive back for the Cowboys. Apparently, he was slashing him up all over the field. And yes, that did not sit well with Mr. Lewis. Mr. Lewis wanted to run his mouth a little bit, and that motivated St. Brown to put up a little bit more numbers on him. So not physically assaulting him, just with his play on the field. Shane St. Brown against Cowgirls, cornerback. There you go, or defensive back. Big Daz, you do a great job with everything on the show. Sounds, graphics are all superb. Oh yeah, hey, and thanks for that, Daz. I am trying to incorporate more things just to keep people engaged during the show, and it's tough, man. I know there are different channels that have 2 or 3 or 29 people talking on the mic. I think that's a lot easier just because you can bounce questions, you can have conversations. But, I'm an OMG. I'm a one-man gang here. So I'm doing what I can to grow the channel, make it fun for you guys. You're off on your drive to work or to the gym or wherever. Maybe you're just sitting around at home drinking coffee or Mountain Dew. So I do what I can to try to make it entertaining and keep people engaged. All right, Hatman, by the way, Dan, I love your new graphics that you've added to the show. Great job, my friend. Thanks for that, guys. And I'm going to keep trying to add more and more stuff. I think I told you guys I'm going to try to do broadcasts this year. So, I'm trying to add more of these things. So if somebody gets a touchdown and just say it's, Timbuktu or Hutch gets a sack, have graphics, things pop up on the screen just to make it more engaging for you guys and hopefully a little more fun watching it. I actually miss doing play-by-play. I used to love it to death. You guys, if you watch the show for any kind of length of time, when I stepped down from the Associated Press in like 2014 or something like that, I did miss going out and covering sporting events and such. It's just, I've got like 50 different jobs, and I found out at that point I can't have 51. There's just not enough time in the day. I love all my different jobs, but I do miss being a beat reporter or an investigative journalist, although I don't miss some of the politics that come along with being an investigative journalist, who you can write about and who you can't write about. All right, Jason, Bleacher Report had an article on the 8th predicting records. They had the Lions all alone in the entire league at 13-4, Superdome or bust. Jason, I'm gonna have to check that out because there was a story. I mentioned that I'm saving it for tomorrow, but about the Detroit Lions and Super Bowls. So I will have to try to incorporate the Bleacher Report into that story. Thanks for the heads up on that, Jason. Miles Barker, oh yeah. Woo! For Coach Dan. Thanks for that, Miles. Thank you very much. Patrick, I just hope that with all of this press attention, that the team doesn't get distracted. I've seen that happen before with the Lions. Hopefully DC will keep them grounded. So I think that's a legitimate question or worry to have there, Patrick. The good part is, again, referring the type of personalities they specifically target for the Detroit Lions. These are mostly guys that are wired to have or want to pursue goals, achievements, desired outcomes. So because of that, I don't think they're going to get too distracted. I think it will have actually the opposite side. I think it's going to help motivate them, like I was referring to with St. Brown in the video. I think it's going to be a motivating factor to help push them all forward even more. All right, Jason, Bleacher Report had the 49ers at 11-7. I'm predicting they're going to fall back this year. I think Father Time is starting to hit them. I thought you could see some signs of it last year, but you think about the accumulation of half a decade of them playing all those extra games, getting to a few Super Bowls, making it to so many NFC title games. That extra pounding on bodies wears on people. You've lost some higher end draft picks because of different trades or whatever. I mean, we'll see what ends up happening with them. I don't wish ill on anyone, but I also know, at least from a coaching standpoint, Father Time is undefeated. I don't care if you're talking about Apollo Creed, Mr. T. the 49ers or Rodney Peete or Barry Sanders or anybody else. Father Time gets us all, man. And I do think the 49ers are probably, if it doesn't happen this year, then definitely the next year, I think you're going to see them fall back quite a bit. So 11-7 sounds about right to me. Hey, Southwest Lion, man, it's been a minute. Good morning, all. Will be interesting to see how well Lions handle the hype. They handled it well last year. Goff, St. Brown, Sewell don't strike me as becoming complacent after getting paid. I agree. I think they're all, hey, the money's great. Put it in the bank. You know, you can buy a few more Mountain Dews for your family and friends or whatever if you want. Maybe a few more roller grilled hot dogs. But at the end of the day, these guys want to achieve a goal, and that goal is the Super Bowl. You know, St. Brown still, I think, is to the end of time going to want to prove that he is the best receiver in that draft class, or at least in the conversation, not the 15th best or whatever. And, you know, Goff, I think what happened with him getting traded to Detroit was probably the best thing to his career. I think it put a chip on his shoulder where he's got to prove himself and wants to keep proving himself because he doesn't ever want to go back to hearing, man, you know, he wasn't this, he's not that. He's over that. He does not want anything to do with that. Panay, I think he just wants to destroy people. I think he just wants to get out there and maul people and prove that he is the alpha in the room. So we'll see, though. And good to see you again, Southwest. It's been a minute. Hookadoo, I'm going with 14-3. I'll take that all day. Buddy, what do you got? Hi, all. Hi, you, buddy. How you doing? Hopefully very well. Bo, Hookadoo, hearing the music. I'll go with that. Hookadoo, yes, sir, Bo. Grit. You know, it's one thing about the Mangini interview I put up here. Is it just me or does everybody use the term grit nowadays? And as Lions fans, I totally get it. But when Mangini said it, I was like, man, I could swear 4 or 5 years ago nobody used this term. But now, man, Dan Campbell's made it huge to use. All right, what do you got? Trump's, hopefully we all have a great Friday. Same to you. Same to you, Trump's. Have a great Friday. Patrick, as long as Lions stay grounded and don't let success go to their head. Yes, agreed. They can't do that. Phil, everything pivots on injuries. Hope Lions are deep enough. I think we're pretty dang deep. But, hey, you have a rash of injuries at a position. To be fair, like last year with the Lions in the defensive line, they had a lot of guys get beat up on that line. They had a lot of guys get hurt, and it did impact the defensive line's performance. Brent, good morning. Dan, the Duke crew, have to watch later. Heading to pick up my top dentures. Okay, new top dentures. Finally, hey, well, congrats on that. Hopefully they go in with no problems and no issues. Y'all have a great day. Go Lions, what pride. Oh, yeah. Well, have a great day to you too, my friend, and enjoy your trip on over. Southwest Lion, MCDC will keep Lions grounded from the hype train. I concur with that. I agree. Shane, nice, Brent. Enjoy your new smile. Oh, 100% with that. 100%. Courtney, good morning, Duke crew! Exclamation point. Imagine Detroit's #1 seed, home field advantage. Woo! Yeah, can you imagine everybody having to go through Ford Field? Yeah, that'd be ideal for the Lions, 100%. Shane, woo! 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 We'll go with that. And all the above. All right, Southwest Lions are used to being the hunted, the hunted. Yes, they have to deal with that now. With that last year, yeah, last year they had to go through it, and especially once they got off to a pretty good start, more and more teams identified, hey, this team's going to be a problem when they come into our house or we go there. So I agree. Buddy, St. Brown is future Hall of Famer. Man, you ain't wrong. If he keeps up this pace or anything like it for another 3 to 4 seasons. Yeah, he'll be wearing a gold jacket without question. Buddy, thanks for talking with me last night, Coach from Pawpaw. Hey, anytime, man. Glad you made the call. Glad we could help out. And, glad you're a part of the Do Crew chat now. So thanks for that. Southwest, mental and physical toughness along with talent are essential. And the Lions do a good job of getting people with those qualities. Yeah, they know exactly what they're looking for in an internal components to a person. And I know I've mentioned this before, being a scout overseas for eons now, it's huge over there. Like, you won't go into certain markets if you have the wrong personality traits. They won't bring you in. They won't sign you to contract. I think here stateside, they are starting to pay more and more attention to that. And the more the Lions have success with it, you will see other teams, whether it's the NFL or other leagues, mimic that. All right, Shane. It's summer here all year round, and it's summer here all year around to me. It's winter outside, way too hot outside. All right, fair enough. We'll go with that. And yeah, I prefer the winter, actually. I prefer cold weather. Let's see, Steve, 3-1-3 defense. Yeah, and I think it's coming for people. I think it's going to put a beat down on a lot of teams this year. JDC, Shane Smith, definitely 4 seasons here in Michigan. I hate high humidity. Yeah, the humidity, that's not always fun for people, and it messes up my hair, so I'm not for it. That's a joke. All right, Shane, hit that like button. I live in Southeast Texas on the coast, spreading the word for us more fans, the better. Yes, bring them on in. We got fans from, to be honest, I guess we've grown to the point we have friends from different spots or watchers, viewers, whatever you want to say, from all different spots on the planet. And that cracks me up because I would have never guessed that been possible. Dimitri, what do you got? Good morning, Lions. Thank God it's Friday, and woo! And good morning to you too. Hopefully you're having a great one. John, good morning all. Same to you, John. Shane, 100-something here right now. I grew up and graduated in the Thumb. A little bit different Texas than, the Thumb of Michigan. So Bay City area or around there, I'm guessing, but maybe not. Let me know. Shane, good morning. All right, good morning to you too. Patrick, the woo is back, baby. Yes, it is. It is back, and I'm sure somewhere Don Burr is not all that excited about it. Let's see, Walt, good morning, coach and the Duke crew. Woo! Good morning to you too, Walt. Walt, hit the thumbs up button for the Duke crew. Yes, do it for the crew. Phil, 61 degrees here, Shane. Yeah, a little bit of a difference. Wee bit of a difference. Phil, the other words, fake news has always been the norm. All right. There's a lot of truth to that. It always has been. Motown, Mitch. Yeah, down here in Three Rivers, got a ton of wind and need a new roof, but family is good. Sorry, I've not been on much since the hurricane. Had some cleaning up to do. Yeah, was the last 2 days we had the remnants of the hurricane come through, and yeah, I know like my goddaughter, she was up in arms because there was water in her basement. I had to tell her we're gonna have to get a bunch of dirt, soil put around the foundation because she had I'm guessing a negative plane, so that just means taking all the rainwater back towards the foundation, where a positive plane takes it out and away. So we'll get that fixed for her. All right, JDC, almost room temperature here in the UP. There you go. Dominic, I listen every day on my way home from work. Hey, well, listen to it whenever you want. To be honest, that's the great thing about YouTube is, man, this stuff is free. It doesn't cost anything, and you can just listen to it whenever. I get when it's like a game review or something, you're probably watching it within a few days of the game. It's not like something that is, going to be relevant for long periods of time, but you can watch it whenever. I know, who is it in the chat? Stephanie or whatever. She listens to it. She says when she's at the gym or sometimes working, whatever. People listen to it whenever, and I just hope that you guys just enjoy it. See, Phil, Micro Mike is a fantastic play-by-play guy. Yeah, he does a real good job with it. He does. I'm trying to think. There was another guy. I don't see him as much on YouTube anymore. I'm trying to remember his name, but there was a guy. I thought he did a real good job with it, and man, I in my morning dew. I can't remember his name. Hookadoo. It's okay. Motown. My niece lives in San Antonio. She said Houston got nailed. Yeah, I heard it did. I heard it did bad, and you feel for them because they had those like 2 or 3 months ago. It wasn't a tornado, but it was like high-powered planes winds that came in and just like took out part of the city. So yeah, man, they've got nailed twice in short order. Manifest my destiny. Pick one team in the AFC and NFC that made the playoffs last year that won't make it this year. Woo! Who doesn't make it this year? All right, Buffalo Bills. And oof. Let's see who won't make it. The Rams. I have worries that Stafford's going to get hurt again, and if he goes down, I just don't think they have a chance without him. If he stays healthy throughout the year or the vast majority of it, I think they make it. But right now, if I got to pick one, I'm going with them. All right, Patrick, did they add another game this year, or was Jason just have a typo? Are there 18 games? They haven't added another one yet, but I know there's conversations about 18, and I know I've talked about it for a while. I think ultimately there will be no preseason games and there'll be 20 regular season games. I don't think that's happening this week or in the foreseeable future, but I think what will happen is slowly every couple of years they'll take off a preseason game and add a regular season game until they basically get to about 20 games. And that's also probably the time you'll probably have a team in Mexico, maybe Canada, probably one somewhere in the UK. Yeah, they'll probably expand a little bit more. All right, Patrick, I wouldn't complain if there was an extra game. Yeah, I think most fans are okay with it. The problem is the player health and safety. I think at that point, you've almost got to build in 2 to 3 bye weeks just so you give them some time off. And that's part of running the business. And the players can complain. I get it. Everybody complains, say it's too many games. But you know what? If that's your profession, that's what you want to do for a living, you probably got to live with it, unfortunately. All right, Phil, does the team designate certain players for interviews? Question mark, or we're going to have the players stay away from the media? Teams can control certain aspects of it, and it's a great question, Phil. They can control certain aspects, but if a player gets approached or their agency representation gets approached by, Timbuktu media or whoever, they put in a request, then it comes down to the player to say yay or nay. But if somebody wants to go directly through the PR department of the Detroit Lions and their media representation, say, hey, we'd like to talk to you guys about interviewing this person. The team can control that unless it's after a post game where the league designates certain parameters regarding the pressers. So there are different levels regarding how to contact players or persons for interviews. All right, Bo, as long as you don't put up tongue twisters, coach can handle a little bit of dueling. Yes, I can, but the other times I can't. Let's see, Jason, Patrick Cheesebo, 13-4, no typo. There we go. Let's see, Patrick, thanks, Jason Berry. Too bad, though. I'd love an extra game. Hey, we're probably getting them sooner versus later, just not this year. JDC, Bo Booth, yep, and don't make the coach woozy. Yes, please do not do that. Phil, Equest St. Brown seemed very disappointed the Lions didn't want him. It is what it is. I mean, I like the guy, and I get he's, I'm a Ra's brother, but I don't know if he's so impactful that they want to bring him in over some of the guys they already had on the roster. And that's the tough part. The team has to make a team decision, not a family decision. All right, Steve, good morning. Duke Crew. I like the 3-1-3 defense for the nickname. It works for me, and I think it works for most people. I can imagine the T-shirts already. Hatman, okay, Duke Crew, time for me to go up and smoke. Have a great weekend. Same to you, Hatman. Hopefully you get some better sleep. Hopefully last night wasn't the only night. All right, buddy, Lions go 12-5. I'll take that. I'll take that big time. Buddy, injuries to offensive line and secondary will be concerned. Always are, man. Always are. As long as it's not to some key spots, we can probably overcome it. Shane, born in Lapeer, graduated in Deckerville, Michigan. All right, Shane. Caseville is fun. Check it out. Nice beach. All right, I will do that. Shane, wind was crazy. I bet it was down there where you guys are. I bet it was, man. You guys had some real wind issues for a couple times this year. John, Thunder and Lightning. There you go. That could be a good one for the backfield. Phil, Thunder, Lightning, Goff, and St. Brown. All the above. See, Gary, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Do you think having a deal with Stafford, Murray, and Mayfield at the start of the season will help or hurt our young DBs? Having to deal with them? I think, hey, you want to grow up. You want to see what you can do. You want to see earlier versus later. Yeah, you can nurse them along, but, those teams are going to go through some stuff too. Stafford is probably not an ideal quarterback to start with just because he is such a veteran. He does have an arm. He is a little bit mobile. But you know what? Hey, you're going to have to face him at some point. It's not how I would have drawn it up, but it is what you have. You got 3 good quarterbacks to face off against. You want to see how much better this defense is. Here's your opportunity. Shane, Demont, Gibbs, Thunder. Yes, I'll go with that. JDC, Thunder, Montgomery, Lightning, Gibbs. I would say that is correct. Hookadoo, I like that. JDC, offensive storm front. Yeah, that could be one. JDC, receivers, twisters. JDC, fans of said storm front chasers. I'll go with that. And Dominic, I'm from Muskegon, Michigan. Go Big Reds. Yes, the Big Red machine up there, 100%. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up today. Get out of here a little bit early on a Friday, get some stuff ready for work and all those kind of things. If there is some sort of breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as quick as possible. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that push to get to the 6,900, and we're less than 40 subs away from it. If you would take a real brief moment of time, we got over 300 people watching. Hit that thumbs up, the like button. It's free of charge. Helps the channel out a lot. Otherwise, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll see you on the next Lions Talk Live, everybody. Have a good one. Oops.
Happy trails to you until we meet again.